Hey everybody, welcome to Forge Narrative. This is our live Monday webcast. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined tonight by my co-host Juice.
Hey, what's happening, guys?
I got Kenny Boucher and Rob Bear.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
How's everybody doing?
Oh man, this is a football Monday. I'm doing phenomenal.
Yep, I'm closing somebody out right now, even as we speak. Relaxed, just winning my first fantasy game this season.
That definitely will happen when you've got a baller squad.
Yep. And properly managed teams win games, man. That's all there is to it.
Right. Before we get too far in, I'm going to run some shout-outs real quick. Sean Bailey, Chris Gardner, coming in from Canadian land. Christopher Morgan. Lou, what's going on, man? I actually was scrolling through and was my text was going to hit you up the other day. I'm glad it is 90 here. It is crappy and rainy in North Carolina.
Also
Stoner
crappy
Steve.
and rainy here.
Aaron. Family of Gamers. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Stoner Steve hit me up earlier and said it was snowing in Canada.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
Well, Canada's near the North Pole, so, I mean...
Yeah, it's basically the North Pole.
Couldn't forget our boy Jay Troop.
Troop Smash.
The FTN Enforcer.
That's right.
Yep.
So how's everybody else's Monday? I'm sorry, I took it over with some football talk. I'm just too pumped for this time of year.
Monday's doing good, I said, doing it to it. I did some, I used those back to basics acrylic bases for the first time. They come with they're magnetized, and the round magnet goes into the miniature, the square magnet goes into the base. And they were surprisingly easy to use.
What are they for? What, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Just for flight stands, acrylic flight stands. So it gives you those clear, interesting, better than the GW bases because they come with with the magnets already, spaces for the magnets already in them.
You're telling me my 4 Landspeeder Stormers that I'm painting, I'm going to need those?
Yeah, you will. You'll need these. Although I do like the ball mount that comes on the Landspeeder Storms, so you might want to stick with that. I don't know that they have one, but I don't know that they don't have one.
If I had a nickel for every time I broke one of those ball mounts and threw the Landspeeder into the wall and exploded it to 1,000 pieces, I would have $400.
How do they keep it from tipping? Like
back in the old days, Landspeeders had this plastic coupling.
Oh, that was
ball joint. You glued a rod into this ball. Yeah, it was a genius move until the 3rd time you pulled the Landspeeder out. And then you just destroyed the Landspeeder by throwing it to the wall out of fury.
Well, let me tell you, what I'm most impressed with is that the acrylic that they use for the base is super glue and fingerprint resistant. It doesn't fog up.
That's clutch.
Yeah, I'm not saying I've got fingerprints on it because I handle everything like a caveman, but I was able to glue the bottoms of the bases and spray it with a zip kicker, and it didn't cloud the base at all.
Very good. That's good news. I'm about to snag up I got about 9 Landspeeder Storms sitting on my desk. I need to get some of these.
They're pretty good. I mean, I don't even. I'm not. It's not even me endorsing them, other than just me. That's not the show endorsing them. It's me. I used it. I dig it.
Beast.
Yeah. So anybody else out there? Let me know what y'all think.
Sean Bailey is just tuning in and wanted to know. He's got a question. He said he wants to know what are the thoughts on the best meta assassin? Anti-psyker, anti-reserves. Dispelling powers is huge, but forcing most reserves to wait another turn could be game-breaking. Especially, again, for what he's saying for a 9-pod army. How do you feel? Who's the best psyker or best assassin? Alexis?
You can't. I mean, it's like even if you don't. Like, you're fighting somebody without psychic powers, his cost investment to basically give you that one turn that you need is so minimal.
Especially if you already have a really well-tuned army, and the thing that's keeping you from winning these tournaments in your area is every time you go up against something that is a Death Star that gets invisibility or something. If you can distill it down to that's the thing you can't beat, which I think a lot of people have that problem. This is the solution to that problem.
So I'd like to even go in a little bit more on that assassin, the Collex Assassin. I know we've talked a lot about how we can keep it alive and put it in Stormwolves and Lamb Raiders and all this. But I was talking with my boy Luke, and he still likes this drop pod idea, and I'm like, man, like, but he's just gonna kind of, you put him out there, right? Well, let's just imagine if you drop in on a Seer Star that is nothing but Psychers. They have no invisibility. Fortune is now nullified. They don't have Protect. Now he's gonna suck all their warp charges, steal them from them, and shoot this unit 1,000,000 times, and the only thing they get is that 4 bimbo.
There is, yeah. Sometimes you only need that one turn.
Yeah,
so that's why the drop pod is perfect.
So versus the Seer Council, that's a good tactic. But what about when you just go up against, regular old couple of sides over here, one hidden over here, like Chaos, for example, just with a couple of level 3 stars of spell familiars, and then maybe a Herald. That's the big problem, is now you figure yourself out. I feel like if you play casually, know what your opponent plays, I feel the drop pod still works, but I just cannot. I can't see it being in a tournament where you're playing, more than 4 rounds.
Yeah, I think you're also boxing yourself into if your opponent realizes what's about to go down, he may just stay in reserve, and then you might get the pod in before he gets his reserves in. I think it's better just that you're adding an insurance. Like the pod idea is not dead to me, but it's close. It's got a foot in the grave. I think you need to put that guy, if you plan on winning games with him consistently, which is what we're talking about. The people that play the other list don't need consistency or don't need to roll average because they can manipulate it a lot. Mm-hmm. You need averages if you're playing with this guy, and so make things as consistent for you as possible.
I got you. I mean, I just say as easily as you can sprinkle in drop pods everywhere. Why would you not have that as an option, though, right?
Well, Luke is a drop pod player. So here's the thing: you go to a tournament that only lets you have 2 source materials. He has a drop pod space with army. For him, this is an obvious choice. Like, I have a drop pod space with army. I only get to have 2 source material. I'm obviously putting collective assassin in the drop pod because it gives me a chance to win a game that I never had a chance to win anyway. I totally can still endorse it. Like, not everyone has more than 1 army. Not everyone has the ability to field multiple variants of the same race. Even there's obviously viability to putting this guy in a drop pod.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's all about 4-star Stormfangs right now.
Yeah,
4 Stormfangs with
I don't want
all the characters and everything else. So
then you need to tell him that you better put it in one of those flyers, or I'm gonna have to just show him why it's a bad move. When I charge it with one Mauler theme on turn.
Well, you don't play Jet Seer, right? So no, the conversation doesn't apply to you. Suck it.
Let me go into a question we got in email. Lucinus says he's looking for anti-air in a 1,500 point Grey Knight Sisters list. And it's got a Storm Raven with a Sky Shield, Dread Knight, some Terminators, Librarian, 2 Exorcists, and then some Sisters. Basically, a few here and there to spread it around with St. Celestine. With 150 free points out of those 2 lists, what are some good anti-air options? I'm a fan of the Storm Raven, but what else is out there?
So if he's only doing those 2 CADs, if he's only doing those 2 CADs, he's super limited. It's basically just the Storm Raven if he's only doing GK and Sisters. I mean, that's it.
I mean, it's how much does he want? Like, do you want to go? How many points do you want to invest? Do you want to spend 200 points for a Firestorm readout? That's all the anti-air you'll need.
The readout doesn't get good until it's like 230 or something, Yeah,
because you need to give it the +1. Yeah. Well, no, I guess it's Twin Lance. You don't need to give it the +1 to hit.
Well, no, I mean, if you do, yeah. If not, yeah, you really want to give it that.
It's 30 points though. It starts getting pricey to do that. Don't you think?
Yeah. Is there a good Forge World option for anti-air for those codexes? Can they get some?
No, most of them are Space Marines.
No,
it's all Space Marines.
Mortises.
That's the major problem. Is you need to figure out how to get in a Space Marine codex.
Or you could do the Codex AM and try to get the Sabers, maybe.
Well, I mean, to me, there's got another sister squad that's in an Immolator with Meltas, and there's Meltas on the Sister Squad, I would probably drop the Immolator, try to pick up a second Storm Raven.
That's it. I think that's initially what you do if you're worried about it.
Two
then you can,
Storm
now
Ravens is
that you
respectable.
now that Battle Bros can just hang out in each other's transports, you just put all those. You can just drop all the transports for the girls and put the girls in the Storm Ravens.
And the Dread Knight has a teleporter, and I'm not convinced the teleporter is absolutely required anymore.
I don't think it's required anymore, but I think for how cheap it is, we got to at least mess around with it for a little while.
Yeah, especially with
it
how
helps.
Yeah.
The beacon?
No, the teleporter, the personal teleporter.
teleport.
Oh, okay.
Man, that is so fresh. For what is it? The
180 points for minimum profile. Like 185 for optimized.
What about the Exorcist? Would that kind of count as anti-air?
It's not anti-air. It's completely unreliable.
When you roll, even if you roll average, you're getting 7 shots out of both of those.
The Exorcist is decent for its points only because the vehicle also scores. It's armor 13. It's a scoring unit and it has the D6 shots.
Dude, I'm thinking it's always good. It's always good. It's just not your anti-flyer option.
I didn't like it before 7th edition.
It can be so punishing when you roll that 6 and then get a bunch of AP1 hits on somebody.
Or even if you take the average of 3, just having strength 8 AP1 consistently every turn is pretty clutch.
Yeah, it's a fire magnet. They have to do it because somebody's going to roll that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I used to always compare it to 135 points of long things.
Or 135 points Cyphelman Dread.
Yeah, I mean, that's but now that it's armor 13 and a scoring unit, it's a no-brainer for me. I love it.
Yeah.
That was the one thing holding me back. I was like, this thing doesn't even contest an objective.
I've always been a fan of it, but mostly because I played against it. I know what it has to be done. I've got to take it out.
James Gardner is wanting to know. He says, "What do you guys think is a better all-rounded choice for the new Grey Knight Terminator / Paladins close combat weapons? Halberds, swords, falchions. He's thinking 2/5, 2 of his 5 with hammers, but doesn't know the rest. Does he just go all hammers?
You don't get the +1 save for swords anymore, right? I mean,
No.
All hammers.
Well, the thing about Terminator, my standard Terminator loadout, I've made about 15 armies with Grey Knight Terminators. I do 5 Terminators, 1 hammer, 1 incinerator, and usually I throw them in a spaceful drop pod. I feel really good about their price tag when they're 185 for 5 Terminators with that, because the problem is they're so good, they're so cheap. When you get them all hammers, now you're looking at regular Terminator prices without an increase in multiple.
Yeah, I was being slightly sarcastic, I think, but the only upgrade weapon-wise I would give them, it would be a hammer. I would not mess with any of the
If
other
you have
numbers.
6 random points in your list, you give a bunch of them halberds all day. But I mean, seriously, 185, you get 1 strength 10 hammer with hammer hand and 1 strength 6 heavy flamer. And they're a scoring unit. That's that's my favorite thing is 3 of those units. Throw them in 3 space with drop pods. That's my heat.
Word. I like it. Cody Griggs, man, thanks for tuning in. Hadn't seen your name before. Thanks for posting up some questions. He's got a statement and some questions here. He's like, he is not a fan at all, none whatsoever, of the Nova missions this year. What's your thought about the mission design on the tournament level? Does the Maelstrom have a place as a secondary? Does Forge World counter to Eldar's dominance? Is there some Forge World out there that counters Eldar?
Let me handle this one if you guys don't mind.
Please.
Go for it. Of course, get in there. I don't like to be too critical of somebody else putting out, their own tournament with their own flavor. They obviously have an agenda. Every tournament organizer has an agenda, and so I don't like to be too super critical because, I wasn't there. The flavor's there. They obviously want to go in a certain direction. What I do think as far as mission design goes is that you need missions that equal the playing field, so where everyone doesn't have to show up with the same list to compete. I found those particular missions somewhat lacking, but they weren't. They definitely weren't completely lacking. They're play tested. They have a good flavor to them, and I'm sure they all played out well. People had a good time. When you combine the missions, there's all kind of stuff that goes into a good tournament game: terrain, mission, your opponent, a little bit of luck. It's all it's all got to shake out. So
FAQ.
Yeah, right. A large fire arcs.
I'll tell you, Paul.
Yeah.
This is something I talked about a lot because I have a lot of friends who went there and everything a lot recently, and I kind of said what you just said. I was like, look, man, I printed off that whole packet and played this through a lot of the missions here with my friends, and it is a very detailed packet. Clearly, a lot of thought went into it. Very, very, very highly detailed and very thought out. Even got a fresh, hot topic, coined phrase with the asymmetrical design. I mean, a lot of things, a lot of layers to those mission packets, but I mean, I do have to agree with you. They do not, however, and I'll just compare them to our missions. Our missions were designed from the ground up with the idea of all armies are going to be on the same footing when it comes to what is the thing I'm going to accomplish in this game.
Yep.
And when there's a power imbalance, it's not our job as tournament organizers to change the rules of the game to fix the power balance. It's simply to change what you're trying to grab after this game.
The picture of success is what
that
you're
is
changing.
it. There you go. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, the picture of success. And I love the wording. I like the detail. I like the thought process of this mission packet, their mission packet. I did not feel that it measured up to that picture of success that you talk about. I just felt like it fell so short of it, and that sucks. But you sometimes you just don't know until more than 50 people played your mission.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
that's what we do. That's what we do. We make sure that our missions are available the entire year. Everyone plays them. We receive the emails and we update them.
Yeah, when there's a significant feedback that all points to the same directions, we're not gonna sit by and go, sorry, you just don't get it. Obviously, there's something we might not get. Yeah.
It definitely seemed like those missions favored certain army builds.
Well,
And
it's not.
became quite
They're
apparent.
not the only ones guilty of that. Almost
No.
every single
No.
tournament out there is running missions that just plays right into everyone taking the same list, and we all know what those lists are. We don't talk about them on the show that much because everyone knows what they are.
Yep.
Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
If you like the Maelstrom missions, the last week's Whitedwarf had a new Maelstrom mission in it. It kind of makes it a little bit more competitive. I'm not sure. I haven't played it, but I looked at it and I was like, hey, this might actually work pretty well in tournament play. It might be worth taking a look at. But it's just something different.
Hang on one second, Juicy. Let me put out there those missions were published well in advance, so everyone knows exactly what they should have brought to compete, or not been disappointed with themselves or the missions. So that's a win. Putting it out there early, that's a win for that tournament.
Yeah. I mean, like I even play tested the mission packet and I didn't even go. I would say the one thing I learned from that event, just from feedback, is I think a very detailed published FAQ is going to be a major key to success for us.
Anything that's ambiguous for sure. Yep. And the last part of that question was, what does Forge World equal out? Kind of balance the Eldar mid.
Or before that, the second part was, does Maelstrom of War have a place as a second?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, y'all hit that.
Yeah. We're working on that right now.
Anything that's such a core concept of the game, you want to make sure is there for people that are coming because they really appreciate this edition. And the rules in the codex design, it seems they always seem to kind of flow better and more in line when you're playing with elements from the core book, whatever the mission design was.
Yeah,
at the base level.
We are working really hard as an organization to streamline a Maelstrom of War themed mission into the competitive environment. We are not giving up on these.
And it's not easy.
It's hard to equalize it out because if somebody rolls good and their opponent rolls bad, then they're automatically at an advantage to just go up and accomplish objectives.
The worst part about it is even this: if they roll the same thing, you could flip the same thing, but it means different things to both people. That's the major problem. Is you at the competitive level, you want to eliminate that phenomenon as much as possible, but not entirely eliminate it because that's the core of the game. It's just that you don't want to add undue stress to that major problem in the game. Is someone who can just roll better than someone. We're okay with that. We just don't want you to also draw better cards and over again, all that stuff. We want to figure out a way to equalize it.
Yep, and the last part, no, I do not think Forge World is the answer to Eldar. I think Multicad is, and everybody needs to stop being baby and afraid of their toy soldiers and all the books.
Mm-hmm.
So I said it.
I've never heard it more articulate response to the question.
It seems like no matter what GW does, there's always resistance from us. You know, like last edition, it was they tried to get us to play with Lords of War, and we wouldn't. And now it's like part of it, and there's still like now there's the multiple CAD like boogeyman like and it's just like there's always something.
People call me during the FTN office hours, you know, and they say, "What are you working on right now?" And I mention this stuff like, "You'll never be able to play that, Paul. You'll never be able to play it." I was like, "You watch." Number one, I play it where I want, when I want.
I do what I want.
Yeah, first off, I'm a grown ass man.
That's right.
I'm not gonna go play your tournament.
But I'm like, we're gonna get there. It's like the next book that comes out, and then the next book that comes out is going to do nothing but emphasize that we can't get away from it. And if we continue to put our head in the sand, we are really impeding the development of the game with the tournament level.
Do you think that people, you know how it works was like, hey, they have a way to assault with like 200 guys on like turn 2, right? So it almost seems like you need Lords of War. But when's the last time you saw a 200 miles getting pushed around the table? Do you think maybe that if they had made it so, say, Khorne Berserkers could get across the table just as quick, right? And super quick, into transport, points reduction, they finally did what we all wanted them to do, made Berserkers hot, they could get there, right? And then you needed a Lord of War to try to start to equalize it out. Do you think if they did something like that with Astartes, like say they did with Blood Angels or something, do you think then people would start embracing it maybe?
Yes. You said Blood Angels. You said the magic word. Yes.
Whatever it is, yes.
Let me tell you, if I need 9, 10, 11 books to make Blood Angels work, you're not stopping me from using it.
I can see Paul coming up to the table and be like, dude, you can't play with that here. But I'm Paul Murphy.
Chapter 6, page 4,
yeah,
paragraph 6.
Like, all your books
I
out.
can do whatever I want.
Yeah, show it out, and you've got crayon written in on the side. TPM does as TPM pleases.
Mephisto is coming, Lord of War or not.
Solo Falcon chimes in and is letting us know that Vengeance weapons batteries with the Icarus blast cannon is pretty good. AA.
I don't, I see a lot of people rocking them, man. I'm not feeling the point tag on them, but I haven't play tested them, so I can't talk too much on it. I guess
Man, I know somebody mentioned is like, yeah, they're going to auction off their escape hatches because that's where it's at, man.
It is escape hatches.
I actually found a box of escape hatches when I was moving.
What?
So it was gold.
That's my. Yeah, that's right.
So rich.
So I'm thinking that that's it. Yeah, that's my criteria. Can this fortification take an escape hatch? Yes. No.
How many? And if so, how many can it take?
Can it take more than one? Less than 10.
I can get 3. What?
All right. Here's a question that we all probably have an opinion on, and this is like just a standard 40K question. Aaron Shearer is asking. He's wanting to convert his rhinos to razorbacks. What's a reliable razorback loadout?
I don't even know what a razorback is. You guys are going to have to take this one.
I'm a Las Plas guy.
Las Plas.
Those
got a turret now.
Yeah.
Okay, every time I take a razorback out of Blood Angels, I put Heavy Flamer on it. Twin Link Heavy Flamer.
See, I don't do that. I do go Las Plas and Blood Angels.
Yeah. And then whenever I convert them up myself, I always use leftover plasma pistols from guys, and I always leave their wrists and hands still attached to the plasma pistol. So it's the servitor still shooting the gun. We don't need...
So pro.
That's right.
That's barely tabletop right there.
Barely tabletop conversions.
I guess it just goes to playstyle. Like I've been quoted as saying, like basically, like if I have to roll to hit in the shooting phase, I just don't believe in it, so I don't do it.
Hey, Juice, okay. we're gonna need a barely tabletop conversion for next April Fool's Day. Okay.
Got it.
All right.
So what I'm thinking though is that particular tank, you can use it to kind of shore up whatever the rest of your army isn't good at. So if you're not good at anti-horde, you can put heavy bolters on there for the cheaper heavy flamers on there. If you're short on AP2 punching ability, the Las Plas is perfect. If you just want, and you're going to be snapshotting anyway, yeah, double Las, Twinling Las, not a terrible option.
Twinling Las is dope.
Yeah, I'm a bigger fan of Las Plas, but Twin Las, very good, especially if you're playing in a flyer heavy environment. You got 6 Twinling Las cannons. you're gonna get some hits.
Well, I mean, I guess that's true too. I mean, also we think about Blood Angels when we say most of these things.
Yeah.
Blood Angels just do the last plus so well because they're fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if in your meta there's a lot of MSU Marines with rhinos, if we have 6 rhinos versus 6 last cannon Razorbacks, I feel like you just lost a lot of kill points, dog. You know.
But on the side, Razorbacks with Ultramarines is pretty good too.
That's true.
I mean, I like, we talked about that early on.
We have a lot of lists, a lot of six, or even like just last cannons firing out of rhinos with 100 kilo missiles on top of them, all popping combat doctrines on the same turn.
In 20 some years, I've never ever hit with a 100 kilo missile.
If it's twin link?
No, never.
I mean, if you rerolls ones, you'll hit.
I can't promise that. I don't even want to say that's going to happen. Like you would think, and just the amount of times I've fired a 100 kilo missile.
It's like the biggest waste of 15 points.
It's 10 points, and it's,
Oh, that's how I'm with common melters. I just stopped.
Never hit with one.
I'll make some face with common melters.
That tells you the last time I took them. They used to be 15 back in the day, like 4th edition.
My Chaos Rhinos with those common melters on them, they don't miss.
So clutch. I'm right there with you. Absolutely.
The last time I hit with a common melter was during the Overwatch phase.
Christopher Morgan says, can someone please explain ready for takeoff for the landing pad to me? I don't have a Stronghold Assault, and I want to know if it's something worth getting since I have so much flyer heavy army. It's got 2 Storm Ravens and a Fire Raptor.
It's definitely worth
yes.
it. Thank you.
I don't know.
Even if you didn't have that stuff, it's worth buying.
Well, what it is it for 5 points extra, so you pay for the Sky Shield plus 5 points, you can start a flyer on the Sky Shield. It starts on the table on the Sky Shield for an additional 5 points.
With a caveat. It cannot zoom on turn 1.
Yeah, it can't. That's it.
But it's totally worth it if you're like trying to chase somebody down with like a heavy assault unit. Like if you got your Thunderhammer Terminators and Corbulo and a Storm Raven, and you get to go 12 inches forward.
Yep.
And then flat out on turn 1, so that way you are charging them on turn 2, even if they blow it up. That's a huge asset.
It was really nice when you could get the Mind Strike missiles launched on turn 1 too.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
I actually would like to bring up. I feel like we forgot this, and maybe it was said and I zoned out, but Lamont here just brings up a great point. Like, twin-linked assault cannons is some pretty good anti-air and some Razorbacks.
It's just so expensive when you compare it to. Oh, he said anti-air.
Yeah, I mean we're just saying like for the firepower for the 35 points you get 4 twin-link strength 6 shots. I mean I feel like.
Yeah, if you're looking at it, if you're looking at it for anti-air, I mean that's obviously good. It's just. I mean, I don't like the fact that they're only 24-inch range.
That's true.
Oh, Jay brings up a point, is that the sisters can take an Avenger Strike Fighter.
Well, I don't know
that is a very good... I think it's a little points heavy, but, I mean, that Gatling gun, whew, it's brutal against fires.
Yeah, inquiring minds would like to know, like me, what is this?
I mean, look,
number one, it's a cool-looking model. The model is good. It's a beef-looking fighter plane.
I'm sold. Take 2 of them.
Yeah.
That'll be $300 and 400 points, I think.
All right, Gamer Champ, thanks for tuning in. Hadn't seen you before. So, do you guys have any advice for me using Dark Angels against Farsight list? Been having problems. Any ideas?
Power field generator, protect it.
Yeah, you're gonna need to get a power. You need to get some land raiders, some power field generators, and you're gonna need to ally in with Space Marines and get Lysander and a Storm Raven or something.
Or I mean the guard with the Wyvern. You button up everything around the Wyverns, bomb people out.
The Wyvern does work. It does work.
I'm digging the Wyverns. I think we're going to see a lot of Wyverns come back with this assassin. Just let me tell you, none of those.
You're not invisible, Wyverns.
Yeah, none of those stars like being hit by
6 Wyverns.
Yeah, none of them.
That's a bad day.
Yep.
All right, so Landrick is tuning in and wants to know if he allies Blood Angels and Grey Knights together. Is there a reason to have a Storm Raven from one faction or another?
The Blood Strike missiles
are AP1.
They're AP1, and aren't the other missiles AP2?
AP2, yeah. Correct. There is a reason to go Blood Angel still.
Yeah. Otherwise, that'd be the same points. If you, yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'd go with the AP1 missiles.
All day.
Ben Hopper, thanks for joining us from Scotland. I don't know if we said hey to you yet.
Juice, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the name of your local gaming store?
Hit Point Hobbies.
So they have a tournament this month.
Yep, on the 20th.
Ender and I were thinking about going.
Oh, heck yeah, it's 1850. Be down here. Last time we had really great turnout, a lot of guys from, a lot of fans of the show. Hopefully we'll have some more. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I was thinking about going down to the Southern Pines area. That's the Juice's hometown.
Yep. Pretty much my bee laboratory is about 22 miles long. This is my stomping grounds.
It's pretty respectable.
I was thinking about rolling out with my chaos.
Ooh, I like it. And you got me excited. And that is one of my free weekends. I'm looking forward to it. This weekend coming up and next. So,
Good time.
anybody?
Chris,
Yeah. Oh, go
Chris
right ahead.
brings up a point. He says that the Maelstrom, the randomness of the Maelstrom, he does not believe is a core element of the game that we should adhere to. He says missions like ours and the Nova missions that have these progressive scoring systems is something the community came up with that is more in line with what the actual kind of feel of the game is trying to represent. What's y'all's feeling on that?
I agree that progressive scoring is definitely a superior scoring method. Like if that's what we're trying to agree on.
Well, do you think that captures enough of this random element already?
It does. And here's the linchpin to that, though. It does when you change it up a little bit. Like what we're trying to do with our mission packet goes past just progressive. Like all progressive means is you have to accumulate points throughout the game. The thing that's unique about the current progressive idea is that you score these points at the top of the turn. That's new. You've always been used to having to make a bottom of the turn play, put yourself out of position, and hope for the best, right? But that also leads to these people, camping out in the backfield and reserves and coming out and stealing your victory. So we've come up with a solution to that problem. But we also accidentally, by making this a staple of our mission packet, mean that you always want to go first, you always want to be the aggressor, and we've taken kind of some of that tactical patience away. Well, some of the new missions we're working on in the People's Missions packet are doing progressive objectives on the bottom of the turn. So it's kind of like more traditional, but still with the new school, score throughout the game. So I feel like when you put both mentalities in the same tournament, where bottom of the turn, top of the turn, progressive, I do believe that that's the case.
I think that rewards players too. It puts them a little bit of generalship back in the game.
1,000,000% more generalship is required. And by saying things like, top of play, like in this mission I'm working on right now, I have things that you have to accomplish in your player turn, and then score at the bottom of the turn. Like making sure that you have to know the language of 7th edition, language of the game, and you have to know how to map your turn out. Like I'm really trying to, with everyone here, with Paul and Juice and Rob and like some of our local guys, I've been working hard on this. Like I haven't had a fire-lit intermass in a long time until the People's Missions packet came out, and it's made me really, decide what I want to see in 40K. And it turns out that I'm a part of a podcast, and like I didn't realize it the whole time.
It feels to me a lot like the Maelstrom missions are more meant for like casual games. They are great for casual games.
They're super fun for casual games.
I have not had more fun in a casual game besides playing that Maelstrom War mission, but in tournaments it seems like the progressive scoring seems to be, from my experience at least, better. I mean, Juice had a really good Maelstrom game.
I mean, it seemed fair and balanced to me. That's all I'm saying.
I think you were up 15. We stopped counting after like turn 2.
Yeah, at the beginning of turn 2, I had 13. At the beginning of turn 3, it was
okay.
Like
I am not getting the primary, so let me just
stop
now.
I lose.
All right, AK Sasquatch has got a rules question for us. He says, does past preferred enemy give a reroll when I roll a 1 on his Plasmacutioner gets hot rolls?
I think so.
I also agree with that.
Yeah. I can't imagine that it doesn't. But I mean, Rob, can you just break out the book while we're chit-chatting?
One query at a time, please, sir. But I will get to it.
Oh.
I was looking up that Strike Fighter. I can't seem to find it. Like, it's vexing.
Our buddy Ender says that he drops his drop pods on escape hatches. Says, "Hey, escape that."
Oh, so awesome.
That's so beast.
No,
Love
but
it,
let me
Ender.
tell you though, if
So
if you do that, you're within 12 inches of a fire point.
You are.
So that's not always the answer, but it is certainly an answer.
It seems like a pretty solid answer. Then your guys get out of it and stand all over the escape hatch.
Yep.
Ain't no. Oh my God! I need to put a drop out of my army.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is, if you be careful, you want to get out on the backside because you want to give yourself cover versus all the heavy fire that's going to come from the Centurions that are all really mad because they can't get out of their escape hatch.
Hey, did you get
Start dropping pods.
Did you want to? It's actually not bad, depending on what build you're taking. It take just a random pod because, like, I got one in my current list I'm playtesting with Centurions, so I can either put them in the bunker and have the escape hatch, or put them in a pod, just depending on what I'm going to face. It's good to have options. But now, if I'm playing against somebody with escape hatch, that's an option too.
I'm telling you, be careful because remember, repel the enemy. They can't do it out of the escape hatch, but if you're still within 12, they can get out that building and come charge you.
Well, a lot of times they might be the exits at the rear too, so it might be still kind of tough.
All that I'm saying is be aware of all that can happen.
Oh, sure.
We have so many rules in the game right now that you can slip up and
don't get caught with your pants down.
Yeah, that's
nobody
I think it's a great tactic. I'm not trying to dissuade the tactic at all. I'm just saying be prepared because come out right at the edge or on it, get out behind your drop pod so they just can't run out the building and murder face you.
Punish you.
Bill Castello, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, but appreciate it. He's wanting to know, he loves the Stormwolf model, and wants to know, is there a way to use the Stormwolf in a non-Space Wolf army list, i.e. without taking Space Wolf allies / CAD?
It has to be unbound, unfortunately.
What he means like not. Wait, he means Space Wolves paired with not Space Marines. What I mean is that what he means?
From what I understand, he wants the model without taking anything, without basically taking an HQ or troop tax. He just wants to be able to bring it in as a flyer. I don't know of any formation.
The closest thing you can do is the
the Grey Wolf.
The Grey Wolf.
Yeah. You can pay 70 points to bring that thing into your army.
Yep, which was a paltry tax.
Yeah,
I think the buffs are worth it.
Everyone's telling you that the Avengers and Imperial Armor aeronautic.
Thank you, Ricky and Chris. The problem is they don't have a picture of it. It just says like it has the Inquisition symbol over it. So I was like, where is it? And I kept looking. Anyways, so yeah, it's pretty tight. It's a 2-hull point vehicle. Front 12, side 10, rear 10. The thing I like about it is the Avenger bolt cannon, 36-inch range, strength 6, AP3, heavy 7. So that's pretty dope. And then it's got a bunch of mounting points they can take, like Hellstrike missiles, Hellfury missiles, missile launchers, autocannon, multi-lasers. Then it's got all the normal upgrades like chaff launcher, infrared targeting, distinctive paint scheme, which is morale bonus for your troops underneath you. And it's got that little... It's got the little stubber that sticks up out the back so you can like shoot at other planes that are trying to shoot you down. It's pretty cool. It's not bad for 150 points, I don't think. But it's got strafing run too, so.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. That's what makes it really good.
The thing I guess I didn't realize it only had 2 hull points.
That's a dagger.
Yeah, I mean it's a flyer. They're hard to have good hull points. I mean, at the 150 point level, you might. I mean, depending on what you're putting in it, you might just want to go with the Storm Raven at that point because it's only like 70 more points ish, depending on what you're arming that with.
I like that. I mean, it wasn't a bad flyer. I just didn't realize it was just. I mean, it has a couple of things against it. I think the price tag on it is probably fair, but we don't necessarily play in a world with fair price tags on points.
That's true.
Yeah, I feel like Annihilation barges have been overpriced for years. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, seriously. I don't get enough.
Chandler's asking, he says, do we think that the Allies detachment is gone in favor of just multiple combined arms detachments.
That's not. Nope.
No,
There are so many times. Like, I just want this one thing. What's the cheapest way to get it? Oh yeah, I can still just take allies.
Yeah.
I like to take a one troop choice.
I go the opposite way. I tend to go the opposite way. It never seems like I just want one thing. I want like 5 things.
But they're like my chaos, for example. Like my chaos list that I've been playing. Sure. All I want is Be'lakor. I want 2 swords and Be'lakor. Allies is how I get that done the cheapest way possible. Like, so there's definitely a tactical, a point efficient way, a reason to still use allies. When you've honed in your list and you just want this one thing, and you want to pay the least amount of points for it, allies.
A mana core. I wanted a mana core.
That's it. Take allies to get that mana core.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that you can have an unlimited amount of allied detachments. Like, you don't even have to have a combined arms detachment to have an allied detachment. Past the first one. That's correct, right? I believe.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You have a CAD plus 1 billion allies.
Yeah, I think that's important to recognize. And they also get objective secured, the allied troops.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's super important because that really makes you wonder, hey, do I take this formation or do I actually go ahead and try to take allies just so I can still have more objective secured stuff? Which one of the missions we're working on right now, which I don't want to spoil it, having objective secured is definitely a major bonus.
As it is. Yeah.
As it should be. Yeah, exactly. So Christopher Morgan actually poses a little bit for the Calixtus Assassin question, or thing that we had going on. He's wanting to know if the Calixtus Assassin in a flyer is a disadvantage, simply because you can only hit the assassin no matter what on a 6. But if somebody has Skyfire, they can shoot down a flyer a little easier. But if you shoot down a flyer, the Calixtus has a 50% chance of dying because of the Strength 9 crash, instant death. The flyer can die easier than her. What do you guys think of that?
I have not found that to be true. I'm not saying that either one of them are particularly hard to kill. All that I'm saying is that it's way easier to kill a toughness 4 creature even when you need 6 days.
It's way easier to put the assassin in a place that requires the deadly execution, essentially.
The deadly blow to the army in a flyer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we're saying.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, no doubt.
And in many of the situations, I fully believe it's only going to take 1 turn. It's going to take 1 turn.
If you build your army around the concept, if you have that kind of army, you know what I mean? I don't play an army that's ever going to be in a situation to capitalize on this assassin. Like, that's not, like, I just don't have the mentality, that play style. So, like, that's why I kind of I breeze through the Calixtus Assassin a lot of my army building.
I'm digging it now, but that has a lot to do with, playing in an environment where, I do see, 8 books all in the same army list.
That's what I love to see.
Yeah. I haven't felt it has hurt the game. Only because, let me tell you exactly why I feel that way, because not every codex needs it. And so, but like Eldar don't need it. They're only hurting themselves if they take it. I don't feel like playing that, so I need the extra rules to equal the playing field, just from an army design.
Some of them are designed to do that, like Codex AM, maybe Sisters, couple of things are designed to try to take allies, and they do better in that situation. I mean, Grey Knights are great, and Space Wolves definitely add or actually when you start allying with them, do a whole lot too. So it's cool to see that flexibility, I think.
Oh my God, Aaron Shearer, looks like. I love this. This is the dream. I've tried this so many times and never pulled this off. Basically, this guy threw a frag grenade at a unit of Dark Eldar warriors. 1 Space Marine killed 4 Dark Eldar warriors.
Nice.
Forced them to fall back, making them able to claim the objective point. That is the dream, sir.
Yes. that is the height of 40K supremacy right there.
That's when I read the books. That's what I get out of them.
Yep.
That kind of wasn't a book. Remember that? Was it Brotherhood of the Snake? Where like the dude takes the Thunderhawk and he lands and they're like, where's everybody else? He's like, if more are needed, more will come. And they're just fighting Dark Eldar, or he was just fighting Dark Eldar.
Yeah, just him.
He's like, more will come if they're needed.
Yeah. Where are the rest of you? Meh.
They formed up. They had like a parade. They had like a parade grounds at the airstrip, and like all the band and all the armies, and one Marine gets out. He's like, I'm just a brother. Whatever.
We got a good question here from Coach. So in the 40K universe, other than a Blood Angel, what character would you most want to have a drink with?
Space Wolf.
No, a character.
A character.
A character.
I've got mine.
All right, what is it?
Drago. Caldor Drago. The man of all men.
I'm having a drink with Corbulo.
Other than a Blood Angel. Has to be other than a Blood
Angel. I have been fantasizing about my fictional drink off with Corbulo for 3 years. Cannot take this from me, Coach.
Who has feel no pain?
Nope.
But he has
basically immune to alcohol.
We got to play by the rules. Other than a Blood Angel.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know. Let me think about it. I guess who can knock him back like Corbulo? Like who else?
No,
I got it. I got my answer. I got my answer.
Here, what you got?
Commissar Yarrick and I are gonna knock some back.
He can drink them all.
I think I would like to drink with Lysander to see if the Iron Warriors were really a bunch of bitches or if he's just that badass.
I'm pretty sure Lysander could take you.
Take you for sure, but that's not what he meant.
Well, I think my cats could probably take.
Well, first of all, don't get twisted. In this fiction, Rob is a dope ass Iron Warrior.
Okay, there you go. Nice. All right, cool. Well,
no, I'm just saying, Lysander like escaped the whole planet and then like got back to the Imperial Fist fleet and was like, yeah, we're going there, and then went back and killed them all.
I'm going to pick Janzar.
Is that a Dark Eldar?
Yeah.
It's an Eldar.
Kind of.
Janzar. Okay.
Y'all can hang out with your dudes. I'm gonna hang out with the hot female Eldar.
Yeah, that is.
I only drink with dudes. First off, it's a standing rule in my house.
Matthew actually just chimed in and said he completely agrees. If it's not a blood angel, it's got to be Yark.
Good man.
Yeah. So, what do we got next?
Ooh, Landrick says that he'd like to have a drink with Crow.
Crow is probably depressing, man. That's
yeah. The sword will try to get you to pick it up.
I mean, Juice and I and Rob had a drink with a guy like that one time here at the bar.
We actually did have a drink with Crow.
Yeah.
Wait,
was he all talking about his switchblade in his pocket wanting to kill you?
Are we talking about 5850, the guy that broke down and started crying?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, man. That was a sad state of affairs.
That is what I imagine a drink with Crow would be like.
I'd take Garrow. I'd have a drink with him, too.
Yeah, that dude wanted some stuff.
How did that even happen? Like, we said something about Colorado, and then he's just like, I fell out with my girlfriend from college out there. And then
that's what happened with Drago. That's what happened with Crow. Be like, Crow, tell me about Grey Knights. Oh, it's so sad.
He probably would be that way. This seems to be his MO.
Yeah, Commissar Yark, tell me about the state of the Imperium. We crush all those who oppose, you puny weakling.
So what are some army list things y'all are working on now? Anybody got anything on their hobby bench?
I do. I was talking. So we're talking about this hit point hobby thing, and I got to go play test my Feats of Blades list. Brian the Helldrake hater rolled up in there and was like, just checking in, Helldrakes. I was like, am I going to bring a Helldrake to hit point hobbies on a Sky Shield landing pad? We're ready to take off?
Seems good.
That's interesting.
I don't know. Maybe. Is there going to be some Zinch cultist on that Sky Shield landing pad?
That would be interesting.
That's all I got going on.
Calling that Helldrake tax.
I've been kind of appreciating the fact that I can get in there and hobby. I've been doing I've been painting Catachin. I just actually started painting my one of the newer Tigeriuses. Looking forward to seeing how that comes up. I've been modeling and painting some Eldar. I feel bad, but I just finished 10 Warlocks on jet bikes. But
Nice.
they'll never see the light of day. I have a massive Eldar army that will not get
Let's
played.
say, man, I immediately just zoned out and started texting. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Eldar.
As you were saying that, I was like, I'm not going to chime in, but I am going to shake my head for at least another 15 seconds. For anybody who's watching.
Well, I mean-
we have these armies, but we waited so long to get a new book and play them, and now we can't play them.
I mean, I'm a fanboy. I mean, I'm a fan of the whole thing. I like most armies. So, you know, I've got this huge Eldar army that's literally been sitting on the shelf because I just can't bring myself to play them with a straight face.
you can't.
Like, I know it's I mean, it's just even when I'm winning, it's just, and I mean, I wouldn't do this during a game to cheapen my the experience for my opponent, but it's just like, man, I know it's not me. Like I could be playing half as good and still winning. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out. I wish I could have made it to this tournament. Last year, I actually found out. I got a lot of family up in Michigan, and I found out about this tournament. But it's 1850, the Michigan GT. I'm sorry. October 11th and 12th. Sean has put up the link to it on the Q&A there. If you guys want to check it out, see if you can click on it. I've heard that guys had a great time. They had a good showing. This is, if I'm not mistaken, Sean, if you can correct me, I think this is the second year of the GT. So,
is this the Fresh Coast one? I think there was something Fresh Coast. Maybe that's the same. I don't know. Something up there. But yeah, I've heard good things about it. Definitely.
Yo, yeah, I can't wait. But Sean has another question I meant to get to here a second. He was asking real quick, because this is an important thing. I do this all the time. I play those spawns and everything. With multi-wound models, can you pass the wounds around into combat? Also with multi-wound models, in the shooting phase, can you spread out the attacks? Or do you always take the closest? Word. You always have to take the closest. But remember that different units firing at the same unit of like, let's say, Chaos Spawns, they're all potentially closer to a different model. So if you use a little bit of foresight and little tactics in your movement phase, you're absolutely able to absorb more wounds than you normally would. If you if you just bunch them all up, you might versus spread them out to multiple units. But in close combat, you get to pick. So, like, let's say this is the first round of close combat. He's got some initiative 5 guy swinging. He does 2 wounds. I put 2 wounds on this spawn touching him over here. Then at the initiative 4 step, he does 1 wound. I put that 1 wound way over here touching one of his random initiative 4 guys. He does not kill 1 spawn. And then the next phase, his initiative 5 guy swings up the pile-in. I start the wounds on a totally different guy. So yet he is still yet to kill one of my spawn. Now I have 5 wound markers on my unit of spawn, and he hasn't killed 1 spawn.
And that's because the different initiative steps, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And also, but if you have more than 1 guy, like if he has 1 guy with initiative 5, and I got 3 guys touching him, I'm like, yo, this is the closest guy. You did 2 wounds. He's still got 1 left. Next turn, this other guy is now the closest guy. I'm gonna start wounds from him. Like I do work with these spawn with that technique.
That's the way to do it. I mean, I agree
in
with
close
everything you
combat,
said.
you can really abuse this. You can really keep a unit of spawn going the whole game, just being the most obnoxious unit on the face of the planet.
Like seeing some of the suggestions people that they like to drink with.
I know.
Yeah, it's. Can we get the Living Saint to drink?
Oh my goodness.
see why not.
With Loki, love it.
Loki, that's questionable.
Loki.
That's beast.
Mm-hmm.
He reckons a gas gull could throw back some pints.
I don't even think he could distinguish the difference between any booze and water.
Chris is saying that they only serve beer and growlers up in Canada. They make them that big?
That sounds like a challenge, son.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, they put little mice in their beer. What was that movie?
True.
Strange Brew. That's exactly right.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that's the national movie of Canada.
that's their national movie, correct? Just absolutely. That's a fact. Stoner Steve and I, we text, and he told me that.
There's a question here from Dominic. If you have an unbound army, can you still have allies? I don't think you need allies, do you?
Yes. The short answer to that is yes.
Yeah, the short answer is you can just take whatever you want. But I think what he's asking, can he get in some objectives secured in there? And I'm thinking that no. I think once your army is unbound, it's
when you decide what kind of army you want to play, you have an unbound army or a battle forged army.
Right.
Battle Forged Army moves you to this whole section. Unbound moves you to this whole section. You have two totally different charts you work with.
But don't you, if you take a formation that has something in there that gives them objective secured or something, you still get it though, even though it's unbound, right?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, we don't play Unbound.
That was a long way. That was a long way.
I am not.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I'm not qualified to answer that question. Is what I'm trying to
Do you
say.
need an adult?
I never need an adult.
I feel like
am an adult.
it's unbound and just do what you want. Just TPM it.
That's right. Look,
Right.
it says right here.
Just get your stack of books out.
It's a
and be like,
special rule. It's called TPMing.
Look, I now only have 3 Blood Angels in this unit, or in this whole list.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for you, Paul.
This is a Blood Angel army.
Yeah.
I have a question for the TPM. Have you read the Nagash book yet?
Why on earth would I read the Nagash book?
What? I know you're into fantasy. How can you? All right. Well,
No, I haven't read it. I'm not avoiding it. I just have not read it yet. I didn't like the novels that they put out for the Nagash.
Oh, dude, I won't lie, and I know some of you out there don't like fantasy, but if you've played fantasy in the past like 20 years, this is probably the best Games Workshop book I've read. On par with some of the Heresy books in the past 20 years.
That's
And
really
that's
good.
the love part.
That's ambitious. That's ambitious.
That's a
It
strong
looks real
statement.
nice. It looked
Yeah.
nice. And
If you're in, but you got to be into fantasy. Like if you're not into fantasy, you won't appreciate it. I don't think. But if you're into fantasy and you know the major players,
I mean, everybody
Yes.
knows that Sigmar is one of the lost Primarchs.
they actually one of the first sentences in that book is talking about Be'lakor.
Oh,
Nice.
that's a beast.
Yeah, Sigmar is not one of the lost Primarchs.
He's not.
Before-
He's not.
I totally had. I was like on Wiki right now. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Well,
Losing
that
my
was one of the-
shit over this.
That was one of the big rumors, before they came out and said, I want to say they released something that says specifically that Fantasy Battle is its own thing and never touches 40K anymore, but it used to, and so the Twin Tail Comet was his drop pod coming down, and crashed. Whatever. I'm spinning. That was the actual theory, but it is not true.
Yeah, because that just happened again within the Nagash book. So maybe another Primarch landed, perhaps.
Oh, Sigmar came back.
Yes, and maybe yes. Or maybe it's Logan Grimnar, or maybe it's Lehman Russ. That's him. Yeah, he's like, all right. Is this the end times? Oh, wrong end times. Shoot. Give me all your werewolves somehow.
Nice. Well, we're about the end of the hour here. Anybody else got anything they want to bring up before we wrap it up?
Yeah, before we wrap it up, I've got to give a shout out to Sean Brown here. I absolutely love if he had one person he could drink with, it would be Codiez, so he could sit, drink, and start networking. Because obviously Codiez knows everybody.
Oh, he gets you a job. He gets you a job in one Imperial Worlds.
Not only does he know everybody, but he's been expecting you.
Oh,
Boom.
that's the
Way to tie
cleverest
it
thing you
together.
Let me just say,
ever said.
look, you just peaked. You need to not say anything else for a while.
You can't stop this train. Can't stop it.
Can't stop, won't stop.
P.S. Reading the Nagash book.
Yep. I'm gonna check it out. I mean, you gave a really good recommendation, and that is worth checking out. Well, guys, I want to thank y'all. I know we did not get to every question. I really want to thank everybody that showed up, first and foremost, because without y'all, we wouldn't do these Monday nights. And it's been fun. So I really appreciate the viewing and support you guys have given us. I want to thank you guys here that showed up to be on the show. Juice, Kenny, Rob.
Take it easy.
Yeah, really appreciate it. We're going to keep doing this week in, week out. It's fun times. Catch us, on the podcast. Give us some reviews in iTunes. Like us on Facebook if you hadn't already. Anybody else got anything?
Nope, that's it. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you all. Good night.